check, 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 check. There we go. The microphone is now working. How's it going, everyone? But my webcam looks horrible, so let's fix that. Let's switch over here and get that working just fine. It looks like I'm just coming out of the darkness, aren't I? So let's fix that up just a little bit. We'll go over to the webcam, settings, configure video, and the exposure is auto, but it's horrible. Okay, there we go. Now you can kind of actually see me. Everything else is fine. So that camera looks good. Game camera looks good right there. And yeah, that's what we'll have for the moment. So as people come into the stream, we will say hello and the like, but I'll do a little bit of gameplay. Let's just kind of check some of my stuff over here. So we're going to do some gold digging. We're going to maybe do some deck building, and then the crack a pack. There's a pack over there to open up, and a lot of fun sleeves over here. Pretty cool art. It's kind of risque right there, actually, having that top for that mer character there, those squids, not squids, octopi. So yeah, that's kind of funny, but okay. Then we've got some other styles over here. These are all pretty fun. Don't really need any more cosmetics unless something stands out to me that I can't even handle. But I'm good with all the cosmetics at the moment. And I haven't felt a need for some of these most newest pets. What about any of these sleeves? These are just sleeves of the team. Nothing stands out. So sure, whatever. I got a bunch of packs that I can open one day. I have one golden pack. I should open that one day. I do have a bunch of these March of the Machines. Let's open a bunch of these just to kind of add up to the vault and all that stuff. So Rampaging Raptor, 4 mana for 4, Trample Haste, gets +2. It's a lot of mana for +2. Whenever this deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. Or battle the player protects. So that's interesting. Is that sort of trample onto a planeswalker or a battle. We've got Yarok the Desecrated. Okay, new art for that Yarok. Can't even tell what I'm looking at there. So it's cool art, but I can't really tell what I'm looking at. People love Yarok. I see people play that all the time. Here's a battle. Invasion of Fiora. 6 mana. Fiora is related to Conspiracy, right? 6 mana for loyalty, or whatever the name of the counters are called. A battle is a permanent type that enters with defense. Okay, here we go. Defense counters. When Invasion of Fiora enters, choose one or both. Destroy all legendary creatures or destroy all non-legendary creatures. So 6 mana board wipe. And if you manage to destroy the battle, you will get a new Marchesa. So a mono-colored Marchesa. Resolute Monarch. Human Noble, 3/6. Menace and Death Touch. Whenever Marchesa attacks, remove all counters from up to one target permanent. Whenever they attack, remove permanent counters. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt damage since your last turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt combat damage, okay, so burn damage doesn't count, since your last turn. So that's a way to say that if your opponents didn't attack and deal damage to you, you draw a card. Okay, so if you do a lot of death touch creatures, I kind of want to make a deck out of that, maybe. So mono black Marchesa. Just make a note here, because we might build a deck or something, and then just fill it up with a bunch of, I don't know, death touch creatures or something. Menace plus death touch plus humans or something. card draw and stuff, and have, of course, the win conditions of Torment of Hailfire and the what is it, the good old Underworld Dreams Shieldred combo thing. We might do something with that. Then we have the Archpriest of Shadows, 5 mana, 4/4 human warlock. Oh, wait a minute. Can you make Queen Marchesa? Can you make Queen Marchesa a commander? Interesting. But then it can't be cast directly, still has to be cast as. There's no way to cast Marchesa unless it gets damaged by battle damage. Interesting challenge. Archpriest of Shadows, 5 mana, 4/4, backup 1, Death Touch. So when you back up, when this creature enters, put a +1 on some creature. If it's another creature, it also gains the abilities until end of turn, which is whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Alright. So you have to apply this before you attack. It's got to have the counter. It's got to have that counter, the backup counter, before it deals damage, so before your attack. Interesting. Zephyr Singer, 4 mana, 3/4, Convoke. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, about Convoke being in blue. Convoke in blue is kind of weird, but I guess that's Wizards' way to kind of have blue players play with more creatures. Although most blue players will balk at creatures in a blue deck. I know I do in my blue deck, but that's just top-end, big, scary monsters of the deep. Anyway, Flying Vigilance. When this enters, put a flying counter on each creature that convoked it. It's kind of cool. So you could put on up to 4 of your creatures, give them flying. Grafted Butcher, 2 mana, 2/2. When this enters, all your Phyrexians gain menace until end of turn. Other Phyrexians get +1, so that's a very cool lord right there. And I haven't seen SL working live in a while. Anyway, 4 mana, sacrifice an artifact or creature, including itself, return not this, from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Doomscar Warrior, 4 mana, 4/3. Everything's like 4 mana that I'm seeing here mostly. Human Warrior, backup 1, Trample, 4/3. When this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature or land, put the rest back. So you when it connects with damage, you can get one land or creature to your hand. Cool art here. Judith, Scourge Diva. This is a reprint, right? Yes, one of the reprints. 3 mana, 2/2. All your other creatures get +1. Whenever any non-token creature you control dies, this deals 1 damage to any target, including battles, right? And then we have Saison, Perverter of Truth. 6/5 Demon Spirit. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player is 2 life and draws 2 cards. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player draws 2 life and draws 2 cards. Wow, that's a lot of card draw there. So obviously you play this with Underworld Dreams and Shieldred. So Saison will just be some perverted card draw. And Underworld Dream, what other you draw a card, you lose a life ability is, there's also Obnixilis. One of the Obnixilises, maybe some sort of weird draw and you get damaged sort of thing going on there. Alright, and then we'll open 2 more manually just to get 2 in total. 10 in total, I mean. Zada, Hedron Grinder, 4 mana, 3/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets only Zada, copy that spell for each other creature you control that the spell could target. That's such a novel. I can barely understand it. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Okay. So just chaotic red stuff. Shatter the source. Convoke this. Deal 6 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. Why don't they say 6 damage to any target? Oh, because they don't want you to target the opponent directly. Or destroy an artifact. So 6 mana to destroy 1 artifact. Are you kidding me? This is interesting. What are they trying to do here? They're just... What is the point? What is the point of this? This is really interesting. Why would they put such a simple, basic... destroy 1 target artifact for 6 mana. Obviously, if you can convoke it, this can be 0 mana. But you have to tap your creatures to convoke it, and if you're red, you're attacking. So what is the point of destroy 1 artifact? The part about the 6 damage, that's cool, that's interesting. So, okay. Norn's Inquisitor, 2 mana, 1/1, Phyrexian Knight. When this enters, incubate 2. Whenever a permanent you control transforms into a Phyrexian, put a +1 on it. So that's interesting. You make all these tokens, they flip over at instant speed. And you get a 2/2 for 2 instantly. You get a 3/3. So this is going to make a 3/3. This is going to make a 3/3 at later point in the game. So that's interesting. Thrashing Frontliner, 2 mana, 2/2 Trampler. When this attacks a battle, it gets +1 until end of turn with Trample. Okay. And then the Enduring Bond Warden. Single white for 0/1 with backup. When this dies, put its counters onto a creature you control. So you pass. So you can for 1 mana you get a 1/2. For 1 mana, you get a 1/2, and then when it dies, it passes its 1/1 onto another creature. That's interesting. I was just listening to Mark Rosewater's podcast, and he was talking about mistakes that beginning Magic designers make. And he was talking about stuff that would make sense 2 years ago, but nowadays I was laughing at everything he was saying, because the main thing he was saying was beginning designers put too much text on a Magic card. Beginning designers think that if one thing is cool, more things are cool, so put them all on the card, and especially with comments. And again, I was laughing, I was cackling, because, hey, Mark, how's it going? I'm just complaining again. So Mark Rosewater was talking about on his latest podcast, just saying that beginning designers of Magic don't know how to design Magic. But what he was saying as negatives, Wizards of the Coast now does. It's such the pot calling the kettle black. Because the main thing he was saying was beginning Magic designers put too much stuff on their cards, especially commons. And look at this common here. It's a 0/1. It's got backup 1. When it dies, move the counter to another creature. When you look at the history of Magic and you read Mark's columns and all of the stuff, he talks about that when Lorwyn happened, what is that now, 15 years ago or something, Magic was too complicated. So they invented New World Order, which was an edict about, okay, all commons will be more simpler, uncommons will be less simple, and you can do the complexity in the rares and the mythics. And they followed that New World Order for a long time, until the most recent times, Throne of Eldraine moving forward, and especially nowadays with, here's a common, that would have been a rare or an uncommon just a few years ago. But the power creep of Magic is real. And so I can't believe, Mark's a great guy and everything. I met him and got some autographs and listened to his podcasts, and he's a great guy. But it's just laughable that he would straight-faced do a whole podcast about mistakes that beginning Magic designers make, and those mistakes are being done on the reg by Wizards of the Coast themselves, especially the power creep of it all. Anyway, so... And I got a card that I clicked too far and I didn't even see what it was. Okay, but that's okay. So, I'm going to do the gold digging. Let's see if we can re-roll this to more gold. Red or green. That's worse. Okay, So none of those really are going to be for my gold today, so I'll just play a little bit just to get ready to play. And one of the things I want to do is... Fine, I guess I will play this green deck. One of the things I want to do is build a deck, build a new deck, a new Historic Brawl deck. So maybe we'll look at some of the new legendary creatures that have recently come to life, come to Magic, and then maybe make a deck. Alright, so hopefully they don't have removal, because then I can start right away this Finn party. Let's see if they realize what this deck does, but obviously it's a black-white deck, they'll have removal. So how are you? Actually, what I should have done is put out the Sedge Scorpion, then I have 2 poison. Oh, never mind. The opponent's very slow. Although they could have a board wipe next turn. And that's going to be game over next turn unless they wipe out my board. And then, yeah, that's it. Very slow player. Very slow opponent, but once you realize what's going on, then that's what happens. My parents are off on their summer holiday, and my mom sent a photo. My dad enjoying a couple of shakes or something, and then so I responded and I said, "How handsome!" And then my mom said, "Yes, hubby is all in Spanish. Yes, hubby is all quite handsome, nice and bathed." All right, so we got the turn 1 Death Touch creature. We're playing mono black, so. No worries on that. Alright, so what are we doing here? 3 mana. Still no good removal going on, which is fine. And then they're like, never mind. Poison. Look at that Phyrexian. Hey there, Keeb, how's it going? That Phyrexian just running off with a little poison. How can Phyrexians be afraid of a little poison? Gotta fix my chat over here. For some reason my multi-stream thing isn't quite working, so I gotta do double chat boxes here. Okay, got it there. There we go. So how's everyone doing so far today on this Saturday? Finally, we had some nice weather here in San Diego. It's been super gloomy, like non-stop for a month, which was very weird. And I think for the first time, I felt that the old SAD, so seasonally affected, is that what it stands for? Seasonally affected disorder? Where some people get affected by, you know, constant gloomy weather. And I never really think I ever felt that in my life. But this time, this year, I think I did feel it, like, oh, another gloomy day. Oh, another gloomy day, another gloomy day. So yeah, I couldn't make it in England. Don't they have lots of gloomy days? Or Seattle, I guess? Is that the stereotype? So the that's what I was feeling, that the days are way too gloomy, way too often. And we finally had a sunny day today, and I think yesterday. Hey, Stevie, how's it going? Yeah, the opponent's playing a little too slowly, perhaps. Yeah, they're just trying to really ramp into Tatiova, but I am going to wreck them right here Unless they have some defenses, and I will keep up my instant spell here. So if they get Tatiova out, yep, there's Tatiova. They're going to do a landfall. I'm going to respond with that. Then we will respond with that. And that's game over. Take that, Tatiova. They put a brand new animation on that. So, so what this deck is all about is, so Finn, the Fangbearer, 2 mana, 1/3. It's got Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. So obviously, turn 1. So turn 1, you want a Death Touch creature. Turn 1. Turn 2, Finn is out. Got the Death Touch party started, and then take care of their blockers and such with a fight or a bite effect. Actually, I should have put it on Finn, then it would have lived. But then, yep, just overwhelm them with double poison at a time. And if the opponent realizes what the deck does, they bail. And if they don't realize what it does, then they will suffer soon enough. One of the new cards that I just opened up from packs here was the brand new Queen Marchesa mono black with some interesting things that I might want to build a deck around, so we might do that. So do a little bit of gold digging for the moment, take a break, get a drink, try to see about building that deck, play it out a little bit, do a crack a pack, have a pack over there, and just hang out a bit. Oh, so we have the very annoying Giada deck. So don't like my hand at all, which is also terrible. Guess that's acceptable. Need that. So turn 1 Fang, turn 2. I'm gonna bring out Giada right away, so I gotta get rid of Giada right away, even though I want to bring out my own Finn. Let's see if they read my... So you could give your Paladin class a new level. Nope, we'll have an Alchemy card instead. Here's the 4 mana. Is that your 4th mana? Don't activate your Paladin class. They're going to activate Paladin class. Have nothing else to play. Fine. What does that do now? When this enters, when your opponent can't cast spells with mana value greater than the number of turns they have begun. Ugh, don't even understand what that means. So... I love those alchemy cards that make no sense. Just shared the link to the stream with the team. Hopefully a few people show up. So we have Mila over here with the little furry tail of fire. The opponent is missing another land drop, unfortunately. But that's okay. That's what you get for playing with alchemy cards. And then we have an invasion, which they will then attack. Fine. I'm sure you want that. What happens when you get it? You gain a 4/4. Fine. I have to do this. Missing another land drop. Oh well. So how's everyone doing? Oh, here we got a hexproof. Deal damage, gain life, or something. Sure. Target creature you control gets +1 and until end turn for each mana from a treasure that was spent. Then that creature deals damage equal to the power to a creature opponent controls. Okay, so it's just a direct damage. Okay, no problem. Sometimes you have to read the cards a bit. Has there been any talk about Magic Gathering soon? It's been a while. No, but remember, you can also anyone on the Discord can offer to start to set up a game. So if you want to, most times when someone brings it up, then everyone says yeah. But I haven't had a chance myself to do it because of work and such. But don't hesitate for you to ask as well. So it looks like the opponent missed 3 land drops in a row at least, 3 turns in a row at least. So that's unfortunate for them, but when you play that cheater Giada, that's what happens. Now, this deck so far has been undefeated. What are the stats on this deck? What are the stats on this deck? So far this, well, it's a 100% win rate because of 4-0. Alright, we got Isika, every color in the rainbow. I get to go first, but nothing good on the first turn. And this is not good either. It's also not good. Also not good. Out of curiosity, does web design of tools happen in the fall? No, only in the summer. Yeah, these are all horrible, opening hands, but at least I get to go first. I'll just do the shock and awe of Finn on the battlefield. Two mana for something. Alright, they're getting close to Isika. So I gotta erase them. Double Death Touch. Mana. Johnny, fine, doesn't do anything.
You realize I do not stand alone.
I can ignore.
Now, do you see the benefits of peace?
So next turn is game over unless they wipe. So, yep. Well, all right. What can they still do? They haven't played a land yet. Playing that land, double white. Oops, they're gonna wipe the board. They're good gaming. Uh-oh.
Now
double
do you
white.
see the benefits
Double
of
white
peace?
is... Double white could mean, yeah, it's pausing for priority, so that could be... That could be the, settle the wreckage. Yeah, it's settle the wreckage. Oh no, it's the Wanderer. Fine, I'm gonna exile
Finally,
exile Finn.
I'm home. You're done.
We just got a super chat over there. Amazing. Thank you so much for that. My heart grows with that cute little ghostly hippopotamus. Is that what that is? Appreciate that so much. I'm gonna dedicate this victory if I can do it. If I can plow through.
I'll be back. Let your blade do the talking.
Alright, we might be able to do it. That $2.20.
Turn back while you still can.
That $2.20. Will hopefully get me through the final damage right here. Even if they block Finn and kill the opponent, still game over. So there we go. There we go. No, that is perfectly fine. It is the thought that counts, and it's a great thought. And there we go. That pushed us over the top. We got it. That's funny though. It had to wait for me to do that action, but it still counted, so it got it. Yeah, that donation, that ghost hippo pushed it over the top because the opponent was starting to build up a bunch of stuff, but Finn bared the fang and we got it. Just wondering, do you have any computer science classes recommendations for fall? It goes for web design. Yeah, the easy answer is all of the CIS classes. They're all web design, so just check the catalog for that. Are there any specific ones you have not taken, or are there any ones that you haven't done for the certificate, for the major? You could focus on that. Uh-oh. I don't know if I'm going to play this opponent. Mono red. I'm going to give it a try, but I don't think this will be a good idea. Because a mono red, of course, will just have a bunch of burn, and I'll just never really be able to connect. So... And there's no real way to play around it. Let's see, pausing for red. It's either a simple creature or a burn spell. It's a creature. Keep it as a blocker. Yep, they're going to keep it as a blocker. Fine. I don't know, but we'll do it this way. Next turn, Finn. Two red mana. Maybe I'll play conservative. Nope, I got the burn right there. So that's what I'm saying. Even with a single red mana, I'm not going to bring out Finn yet because, see, they're pausing for one red mana, so they've got a full handful of burn spells. Now they have blockers. Single red. Here's my 4th mana for this beast. Alright, deal with that. What they'll do though is they'll double block the beast and then have one burn spell, so they'll take out the beast. Okay. Such an overpowered card. 4/4. 4/4 Death Touch. 4/4 Vigilance. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste, plus... Alright, so we're going to take Finn out now. Start that. They're going to target... I'm going to target Finn and toast Finn, but I have enough mana to bring it back. Horn. Alright, what does that do again? Choose a creature, spells cost 1 less. Okay, beginning of your upkeep, look at the top, whatever. Okay, fine. So, cost reduction on goblins, fine. Passing, okay. Still pausing. Nope, they're gonna torch Finn now. I'm out of mana. What did I say? Obvious red player is obvious. So even if it's not doing the poison thing, it's still dealing 5 damage unblockable. Do they have 5 mana? Nope, they have a something fury, 4 damage to any target. Oh well. And then they have 1 more burn spell, so now they'll take out the beast. I guess not. Okay. What does that do? Oh, and then it's permanent. Ugh. So,
I didn't live through hell to lose to you. Tear it down! Tear it all down!
alright, so I think I have enough mana if I can do this. Okay, so they're tapped out. They have one red mana. Okay, they tap everything out. Fine. I'll attack Vivian.
I've seen squirrels hit harder.
What do we want to do here? They have 1 final mana. They have 1 final card. And...
I've seen puppies whine less than you.
You have to double block. Okay, no double block on that. Alright, so as long as they don't get a burn spell for 4, but right here what they're gonna do is they're just gonna start tapping Krenko and gum up the board. So let's see what happens. You played a fun magic game with the kids and used random commons. Ended up with winning using a Mons Goblin Raiders with giant strength. Of all the cards, it said something on that simple. Giant strength. Giant strength. I remember giant growth, but what does giant strength do again? And they should reprint giant strength. Oh, Paradox Engine. So everything untaps. And then now the board is full, so we lost this. See, what did I say about the red player? So they just torched everything and then just come up the board, and now they have that engine. So they're going to tap Krenko, make more, play a card, untap Krenko, make some more. So, well, fine, 1 loss out of that, and knowing full well that that deck can definitely get over the top. All right, so how am I liking the new Lord of the Rings set? I don't care. So, going to take a little break. I'm gonna mix a drink, and then we're gonna build a deck, and then try it out a bit. So I think I might build a deck out of. So here's the brand new card that I unlocked. Let's see, collection. We just got this brand new unlocked. This brand new unlocked legendary creature. So it's one of these new battle cards that you cast the front side. It does something, and then it has hit points, and then once you destroy the battle, then you get the backside. This is kind of a lot of effort for a deck, maybe. It might be kind of an uphill battle. We'll think about it. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll think about it here. So, I don't believe there's any way to cast the backside. You can't get Marchesa directly on the battlefield. She has to come from the battle being destroyed. So I'm thinking Menace and Death Touch creatures in a mono black deck, and ultimately when Marchesa appears, when this attacks, remove all counters from up to one target permanent. So maybe put more battles in there too and just do fun stuff that way. But then, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt damage since your last turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So it's just an against the odds type of card that is just interesting, but it's not really any sort of tier card. And maybe we could make something interesting out of it. But I'll take a break and then we'll see about that. So let me just set this up and then we will build it. Actually, I guess it's not available. Okay, well, never mind. So that card's not available as a commander because you play it on the front side, which is not a creature, and you don't get it until it flips over. So, okay, never mind. So we'll look at maybe some other cards and such to play with. So be back in a moment. Maybe this mono black skeletons or something. Maybe some fun skeleton deck, maybe. So, all right, I'll take a little break, mix a drink. I'll be back in a moment. All right, we're back. Now, it doesn't take that long to mix a rum and coke. You just add rum to the coke. But I had to do a side detour to feed the cat. And then also, I remember I left chicken out because I was going to put it in a marinade for tomorrow. So I had to put that chicken in the marinade, feed the cat, then mix the rum and coke. And now we're back. And as soon as I took a sip of that, that took me back. That's flavor that reminds me. That's a flavor that reminds me of childhood, I guess, in a way. In that, I remember the grown-ups would enjoy a rum and coke, I guess. That's a memory that I'm kind of getting. That the big, sophisticated, or not even sophisticated, but that the grown-ups were having fun with with rum and cokes. So here's a couple of things that we could do for this deck. I'm thinking maybe Acererak, the Archlich, 3 mana 5/5. It's legendary, and all that wall of text basically is saying you get to go into a dungeon. You get to go into the dungeon when you cast it. So some fun dungeon stuff could be the deck. Or I kind of thought, what about Ayara? Every time a black creature enters the battlefield, they lose a life, you gain a life. What about just some super fast mono black, single black mana tiny creatures? Get Ayara out as soon as possible and just cast a bunch of little creatures and just drain them and drain them and drain them that way, and then sacrifice and draw cards. So those are two kind of things that are popping into my mind. Any thoughts there in the chat, which you might prefer? Some like tiny creature. Well, we can build them both. Why am I even asking? I appreciate everyone's opinion, but let's build them both. Let's start off with Ayara first. I kind of want to try that out, where we'll see first about all of these single mana. From the new set, maybe we'll see what's in there for as possible new creatures. Maybe we'll just spend some time building new decks and such, but here's one that just popped into my mind. So let's do creatures that are 1-drops. What are new 1-drops actually that have come out on the new sets? Is there a way to... Oh yeah, of course there is. So if we go here, just show us the brand newest creatures. Are there any 1-drops on March of the Machines? Ecor Drinker, it's a 1/1 lifelink. Black exile this from your graveyard, incubate, but only as a sorcery. So it's a 1-drop with lifelink. And there's the Scornblade Berserker, epic art. Single black mana, 0/1, backup 1, sacrifice this, draw a card. So 1 mana gives you a 1/2 backup. When this creature enters, put a +1 counter on any creature. So single black mana for a 1/2. And then sacrifice this, draw a card possibly. Now this one might be cool to add. Yeah, let's add that one to the deck. Maybe let's try that. Let's focus on kind of recent creatures from the recent sets. See, I'll put in a bunch of 1-drops. In black, there's only one 1-drop in the... What was that set? The Phyrexia All will be 1, which is the Bilious Skull Dweller, Death Touch and Toxic. What's the difference again? Toxic. A player dealt combat damage by a creature with Toxic gets poison counters equal to that creature's total Toxic value. So it's Death Touch and Toxic. Okay. So yeah, sure. Let's add that one. What about Brothers War? Any 1-drops? We have Ashnod, 1/1 Death Touch. Whenever this attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tap Power Stone. 5, exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a 3, tap 3 color zombie artifact creature, not at sorcery speed. So, interesting. It's not quite on brand, but let's put it in there. Clay Revenant 1, mana artifact. It's a 1/2, enters tapped. Return this from your graveyard to the hand. This is a black enchantment card that increases toxic. Maybe we'll search for it in a moment. Gnawing Vermin, single black 1/1. When this enters, make the mill 2. When this dies, target creature you don't control gets -1. So deals 2 damage there and mills them. Sure. It's back to Dominaria United. Here we have the Battlefly Swarm. It's a 1/1 flyer, gains Death Touch. Get in there. We have this Conscript, which is a reprint from an earlier set. It's a 2/1. Yep. And the Evolved Sleeper, which is very interesting. You can power it up. Basically, you put more mana into it, it gets better and better. So we'll put all of those 1-drops in there. Streets of New Capenna. Cutthroat Contender. It's a 1/1 Vampire Warrior. Pay 1 life. This gets +1 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Okay, that's worthless. It's a little bit too weak for what I want this deck to do. So Streets of New Capenna. Nothing useful in there. That's funny. Kamigawa. We have the Dockside Chef. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw a card. And then we have the Saga that eventually you get a menace creature. Yeah, let's put that in there. Sacrifice things, draw cards. I'll put it in, but I might not keep it. Then Innistrad, Crimson Vow. Never collected this Concealing Curtain, which starts off as a wall. Then you can pay 3 to turn it into a 3/4 Menace Horror. When this creature transforms, opponent reveals their hand, you may choose a non-land. So that's interesting. Let's put it in there. And then the Specimen, it's a 1/1, which can keep coming back. And then the other Innistrad. So we have Champion of the Parish. That's all based on zombies. So we'll put some zombie stuff in there. The Awakener, sacrifice another creature, draw a card, then transform. Activate only once each turn. So it becomes... So it's an Ecstatic Awakener that becomes an Awoken Demon. Put those in there. Save the deck for the moment. All right, so now let's add... Now let's look at some more 1-drops throughout. So of course the Cauldron Familiar. Banehound. Flyer. Crypt Breaker, that one makes zombies. Vermin, Malkin. Another flyer. Another flyer. Maybe we'll look at all of these flyers. Death Touch and flyers. I think that's a good amount of creatures. Probably too many creatures. So then we'll build up the deck with the other complement of stuff, card draw and the like. We'll add the 2 mana artifacts that ramp you. Of course, the Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Idol, Mind Stone, Ornithopter. Then we'll add some card draw spells. Well, there's the 2 mana artifacts that draw 2 upon enter. We'll put the removal. The 2 mana instants and sorceries that do removal. Doomblade, Swarm, go for the Throat, Heartless Act, Infernal, Grasp, Power Kill, Plank. And then also the Exile Commander cards. Alright, so that's going to need some refinement, sure, but for the moment, we'll have that version.
Ooh, I love what they've done with the place.
Alright, so version 1 of this deck. We'll see if some synergies come together. I didn't really plan it at all with any synergies. It's just toss a bunch of creatures in there. The main synergy is the drain them by casting creatures. Pretty cool sleeve, right? I'll zoom in on it in a moment. So I have all of these 1 mana things. I've got removal, I've got ramp, I've got card draw. Nice hand. How about shock and awe with a turn 1 haste lifelink? Yeah. Turn 2 idle. Now the tricky thing here is we need triple black. So that's not too bad. Next turn we get Ayara, then we've got removal. We got one of those guys. Don't need that ramp. Alright, so here's how this party gets started. Ayara comes out, lose a life, bring out another small creature, lose another life, start attacking over here. I can boast over there too, I guess. And it's just kind of a little bit of that. Missed their 5th land drop. Huh, missed the land drop. Okay, fine. We'll just do the Overwhelm. Boast again. Plus poison, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're done. Yeah, they missed some land drops. Probably opponent death with weenies. Exactly. It's just a bunch of black weenies and casting those black weenies to also poke them a little bit at a time, and this Dusk Wielder's got the also deal damage. I got up to 34 life, starting from 25. So obviously one game does not mean much, but we'll keep going. Good thing I took out their Mana Dork. That seemed to have been a big hindrance for them. They were playing all the colors of the rainbow, so they needed to play that perfectly. Florian, Voldrain, Scion, Rakdos colors. There's a lot that I can do here. So, got my 3 mana for Ayara. I've got 1 and 2 drops. I've got card draw. I've got a Saga. Let's start with the Saga. Turn to Malkin. Oh, they have their own curtain. Oh yeah, let's give them a nice. Actually, more efficiently might have been to play that Malkin later. So get a 1/1 with haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on this. Remove all oils. It deals with damage to each opponent. Okay, kind of slow. Lord of the Rings, not an arena yet. I believe the next week or so. Opponent has a haste creature right there that can do nothing. So you could double block this, that's fine. Your Sawblade Scamp isn't big enough yet. So you're gonna go with 3 mana for Florian. If you are, I have an answer for that. You get a Transmogrant Crown. Cool art on that. Your creature gets +2. When this creature dies, draw a card. Okay. So I have an oil. Missed a land drop, but there's a land right there. So they don't realize that they've got priority on their... They don't realize that they've got priority on their stupid little scamp. Okay. Well, while the opponent figures out their life, how are you all doing in there in the chat? Been to any good restaurants or whatever recently? There's a fast food place called Raising Cane's. Raising Cane or Raising Cane's, plural, that is coming soon to our location. The closest one was quite far. It's focused on chicken. The closest one was quite far, so you still have a single black mana priority. Okay. Fine. Whenever the combat damage to player, each player mills. Okay, so I don't want to kill that with Ayara, and I don't want to kill my menace creature, and I don't want to kill my wall. That'll get nice and big too. Oh, they're gonna maybe they're gonna transform their revealing eye and then steal my plank. So that'll be annoying. So let's see what they do. Let's see if they finally want to play their commander or transform. Okay, that creates that. Don't care. 3/1 with haste. They're going to equip it, deal lots of damage. Who cares? It'll die. Who cares? We'll give him the old. Who cares? So they're going to gain a lot of life. Fine. Oh, but they do. That's actually kind of good because then when it dies, it's going to draw a card or something off of the crown. So, okay, they did the thing. Alright, we'll keep that Doomblade there. Just attack with everything. They're not going to be able to block that. Actually, I could have transformed my... eye. It was a slight misplay. But I guess... Draw a card. And yeah, let's just get rid of that. So it doesn't get too problematic. Yeah, there's only like, literally, there's only like 3 cards in the world of Magic that are an eye. Evil Eye of Ormsby-Gore, if you remember that one. And the one we're seeing there, and maybe one more. We'll look them up in a moment. Graveyard, whatever. So I have to discard a card in order for me to target it. Sure. Do you want me to play your deck for you, opponent? Slaughter, okay. And of course I've got it removal, but it's versus a black opponent, so not great. At least we get to look at their hand. Village Rites. It's got a Convoke. And then... they're not going to block that eye, probably. Wow, opponent. So the proportions of things, like my pet over here, my little demon cat thing, seems tinier than their dog pet. And yeah, dogs are often bigger than cats, but it just, proportions seem a little weird. And a lot of times with these pets, the proportions seem a little odd. Like there's a fun little dragon sphinx thing that I would think is big. It would be pretty big, but then the other creatures seem similar to it. So they've got this. So their sleeves are a pretty cool angel or something. I don't recognize it, but my sleeves are these very cool something or other. Now, I was saying this on a previous stream that when you pick up these cosmetics and stuff, it might kind of tell you what it is when you're purchasing it, but then after you purchase it, there's no way that it kind of tells you what you can look at it again about what is this thing exactly. And this was some character or something. But again, you can't really look it up anymore until after you bought it, so it's kind of weird. Not sure what that's about. Now here they have some synergy where the Whenever a creature an opponent... Okay, never mind. So when it's one of my creatures dies, it gets bigger. I was going to say they had synergy over here because they had their Hungry for More that makes a hasty vampire, which automatically dies, but it won't give them the trigger off of the specialist. My stuff has to die. So even if I sacrifice my own stuff with Ayara, that's not as useful as it could be. Alright, so the opponent has 2 mana. They can convoke with vampires. That is a vampire and that is a werewolf, so that's not great. It's got lifelink, it's got madness. Madness cost is exactly the same. That's kind of weird. Usually it's a better cost. 1 unknown card, 1 flashback card. We've got Florian. Post-combat main phase, look at the top X cards where X is the total life your opponent lost. Exile 1 of those, put the rest at your bottom. You may play the exile card. Alright, it's kind of a build around, I guess. So YouTube added a new thing in the chat box that adds a little heart. If I click my own heart, what does that happen? That appears somewhere. But that new heart is kind of in the way. That heart is kind of in the way, and it's in the way of people's text, so I don't know about that. All right, what is this? Bloodfell Caverns. Gain some life. So they have 1 unknown card. Oh, there we go. So that's the one that I couldn't see. At the beginning of combat. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So not a lot of synergy that I'm seeing here. And a very slow opponent that doesn't quite know their deck. Okay, they're going to convoke it. Each player sacrifices a creature. Fine, I'll sacrifice that 1/1. Finally, it can be my turn. Eventually. Wow, slow player is slow. I can see the heart thing getting spammed. Yeah, like, let's see. I just kind of, for interest, don't do this, everyone, but I'm gonna try this. Can you do it massively fast like that? Like, what does that even do? Does it give me, like, do they even appear on screen somewhere? Where are they appearing? They're appearing in the chat box area. And what do they even do? If I get like 1,000,000 of them, does YouTube give me new abilities or something? It's just a way for people to, like, say, yay, you win, I guess, like that. Does that do something there? Alright, so we're definitely at a standstill with this opponent. I need my non-black removal to get rid of something. Did they kill? Yeah, they killed. They killed their own slaughter specialist. Are you sure about that? That was a mistake. That's why they're roping me. They made that huge mistake about killing a very good creature of theirs. So that's why they were triggered. Yeah, let's do this. Well, they have no cards to discard actually, but that's okay. Actually, no, I would rather attack. Yeah, let's just attack with stuff. You know what? Maybe I can make them discard the card that they just grabbed. This will be kind of funny if I can pull it off. You can see them by the opponent's turn bit at the bottom. Yes, somewhere. Those things will appear there somewhere. Alright, so here's the plan. As soon as they draw their card, let's see if this is devastating enough. As soon as they draw their card, I will use Ayara to sacrifice my rat and then pay the mana to make them discard the card. So let's see if that is devastating enough. So I'm curious, is this opponent on Twitch so we can harass them? Nope, they're instead going to be a loser and timeout. Okay, fine. Wasting my time. Wow, some players are just like, why do you even play? Okay, well, I was going to, maybe they were watching me on the stream and they thought, oh no, they're going to do that amazing destruction. I think this rum and coke is finally working. Alright, that's only 2 games so far with this deck, and it's got a 100% win rate. The first game lasted, if we look over at my web browser stats, the first game lasted 1 minute. The second game lasted 15 minutes until the opponent gave up the ghost. Now we're playing Athreos. What's its name again? Athreos, which is a very annoying deck, but this might be interesting. They had to mulligan. Ooh, they have the same sleeves as me. It's gonna be the who wore it better battle when you see it on the rags. All right, gain 1 life off of that. Sure. There's no synergy here by bringing out this, but we'll bring it out. 2 mana, bring out the Eye Twitch and the Drinker, I suppose. There's some removal. We'll bring out the Chef. Three mana, that's enough for removal at least. Judge, okay, that's a blocker. Start to set this up. That can block, right? Flying Defender Vigilance. Okay, can't attack just yet. Although if I attack with that, I can learn. So yeah, let's do some learning. And let's submit. Which I can replay from the graveyard. 4 mana. And turn, alright. Missed the land drop. Okay, so let's do this. Let's cast a few different black creatures. Exile this from your graveyard. Incubate 2. Activate only as a sorcery, so we might as well do it on our turn. We can incubate that. We can kill with Ayara. Let's do it wherever. So let's say if they target Ayara, I can have Ayara do her thing. Just goes to show that random cards are just as good as thought out tech. Well, my main thought was let's just put a bunch of 1-drops. Phyrexian Awakening, when this enters, incubate 4. All your Phyrexians have Vigilance. Okay, sure. So they have a 4/4 that can appear out of nowhere. They can do it right now, actually. They have 2 mana. Fine, they're going to transform it right now. Sure. Fine. I can exile it. Sorry, chef, serve your queen. Alright, got plenty of removal here. Let's see what they do. Faithbound Judge is annoying on Puzzle Quest. What does it do on Puzzle Quest? Here on Arena it also does stuff. Defender Flying, put counters on it. As long as this has 3 or more counters, then it can attack as though if it didn't. Later on when it dies, they can enchant me and then weird stuff happens. So now Athreos is out. Put coin counters on it, it'll keep coming back. Fine. We'll do that, no problem. When does it come back? Whenever a creature with coin counters on it dies or is put into exile. Okay, well let's do it this way. Let's see if they're dumb enough to do it this way. Block that. If it dies, it'll just come back. Yeah, they'll do it that way. Okay, that'll work. They're not gonna block it. Okay. Fine. We can incubate that. We've also got removal. Now, where do you put coin counter on your own judge? Oh, that's a Phyrexian Vindicator, blah, blah, blah. Flying. If damage would be dealt by this, prevent it. Blah, blah, blah. Deals that much damage to any other target. Okay, fine. Oops, that comes to life. Swift Boots. Do not want. That's indestructible. Fine. No longer active. Attack with vigilance. Awaken this beastie. Can sacrifice it too and maybe draw a card. Alright, if that dies, put a counter. I could sacrifice it right now and then they get no counter. Yeah, let's do it right now. You get no counter. It's similar, however, no defender, and when it hits 3 level counters, it gets lifelink and double strike, plus if you can pump it, you do stuff. Alright, well, let's eat that. Make Malkin bigger. Depopulate. Each player who controls a multicolored creature draws a card, then destroy all creatures. Ah, okay, fine. Then destroy all creatures. Fine. You played it wrong. You should have played your. You should have attacked with your 4/4 first. So that's fine. Let's eat our own stuff and then draw cards. So the judge is just gonna come back. Yeah, that was a mistake on their part. They should have attacked with it first. But it just comes back, which is whatever. But then it can't attack. Oh, then it can attack with Swift. Okay, fine. I guess that wasn't so bad. No, but then it's got wall again. So never mind. Destroy a creature, whatever. Okay, so just keep playing our stuff. Destroy any number of whatevers. Choose a planeswalker you control. Put 2 loyalty, so that's not going to do anything at all. And we get Shieldred. Pretty good. Oh, okay, we're too far back now. Okay. So... that just... turned the tides. Athreos is always interesting because you can just keep getting their creature back over and over, and if it's got good value, it's got good value. And then when you awaken it, it's a big, hard-hitting, indestructible. I only had 1 creature, and then they had an edict effect, so that set me too far back. Too much to rebuild, so GG. Mono white versus mono black. I see people play that relatively often, but what does it do again? During your turn, your opponents cannot cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Whenever this attacks, create whatever attackers. Well, that's not so bad if I've got Death Touchers. Plus removal. I got a bunch of removal plus Death Touch creatures. We'll be okay. Ah, look at my little demon cat doing funny things. I did a fun flip and it meowed. Well, while the opponent contemplates, I should break out that, remember when I used to look at that journal with a question of the day sort of thing? Haven't done that in a while. It's probably over there somewhere, but that might be fun to put out a question of the day for people. Alright, turn to Scorps. They have the little beholder thing that blasts you. Alright, opponent. This is why we need that question and answer thing when the opponent is like a sloth. It's like, what is happening? Do we give them the benefit of the doubt that the opponent's connection is not working, or that they were called away for dinner? Like, what do we even think about when this happens, that the opponent is just completely dead on the other side of the screen? Like, how does this even happen? Someone had to have pressed play, and then something happened, and it's not that Arena is slow. So there we go. Finally, you get the 1 drop of something. Curse of Silence. Okay, so 10 years to finally figure out to put my commander out, although I have destruction on it, so we'll destroy that on turn 2, no problem. There's a thought, if cockroaches can survive a nuclear bomb, what's in a can of Raid? That's a good question. Nuclear radiation? Alright, so the opponent had a single white mana to play and a spell to play, and yet they took 10 years to finally do their play. Then they're going to activate the curse, go through the list of all possible cards, finally select Ayara, do the thing. Turn. So hopefully I get my 3rd mana. If I do, I can play Ayara, get the Ayara party started. I've got the Walk the Plank removal. I just need my 3rd mana. I know I've got the mana. Actually, I gotta I didn't even check if I have appropriate amount of mana, but the auto deck builder should put an adequate amount of mana in there. And so far it's been working. Two white mana, no plays. Okay, fine. As for me, my deck will do its thing. And next up I can play... I'll probably play... What should I play? I guess we can wait. I'll play the Scorpion and I'll play the Saga. Leave 2 mana. They finally have their 3rd mana eventually. Wow, this opponent... Well, what can we talk about while the opponent thinks about it? Okay, let me switch over to... Here. Don't worry, we're not missing anything. The opponent isn't doing anything. I got this camera recently. No, it's not a futuristic weapon over here. It is a camera that can take photos. And so this is a very interesting form factor, isn't it? There's a guy, any UFOs in the sky over there. I was watching, actually, I don't know if he's still in the chat there, but Keeb, who popped in a moment ago, I was watching his stream, and he showed a video about someone that was all about... I saw a UFO. So maybe we're talking about the same thing. Its activated abilities can't be activated, but that's okay because these are triggered abilities. So I have 28 life and they've got 18. I'll show the camera more in a moment. The opponent... Actually, let's show the camera now, because again, once the opponent plays, it's like time stops. So yeah, let's see if people can guess. When is this camera from? So here's one side view over here. Here's another side view over here. Here's a top view. Here's a bottom view right here. And it even rotates in a cool way like this. You can have it go like this. Wow, that rotated. So imagine I have it like this and then it rotates like that. Well, the point of that is that instead of looking at it straight on like this, I'm looking at it from down over here at a bottom level. So any thoughts, any ideas from when this year this camera is? The opponent finally did something and I'm going to have to wreck this opponent's life. So, we missed the land drop, so we're going to attack with Ashnod, sacrifice that witch, and then discard the... and then they're done. Okay, wow. Opponents... going to guess 30s and 40s. So what do you mean, 30s and 40s? From the 1930s? The 1940s? No. From the 90s? Nope, not quite. But getting warm. So it is... Let me double check it. Actually, let's switch over here to the web browser. So this camera is the Sony F717, the Sony Cybershot 717 from 2002. Quite a vintage camera, a 20-year-old camera. Now, 5 megapixels in the year 2002 was pro level beyond, because everything else was like 1 megapixel or like half a megapixel. This is 5 megapixels from 2002. Yeah, nowadays, yes, our phones have better cameras. I don't care. Since I'm into photography and vintage digital cameras, this is a fun little camera because it's just so weird. Back then, nowadays cameras have just really standardized and gotten boring. But 20 years ago, you still had these weird camera bodies. And this has manual control like a real camera. Nowadays, it's all about automation for the masses. But if you're into photography, you want manual modes, and this is just weird form factor. It's like pro level 2020. I'm sure it cost like $900 when this debuted 20 years ago. I got it for like $10 nowadays because it didn't have, what did it not have? It didn't have the charging cable. Did it have the battery? I don't remember. But anyway, I had a battery and a charging cable, so it looks like a hairdryer. Yeah, right. See, go right here. But it's a camera, and so it has manual modes, auto modes. It has night vision mode, and all this fun stuff. And so someone had posted about it somewhere or something, and I thought, why not me as well? So I picked it up. Just got it last week or something. Been trying it out. Cool photos. Add it to the pile of hobbies. Anyway, the opponent eventually quit when I destroyed their commander, so thank you for wasting my time on that, opponent. But this deck so far, except for the Athreos deck, has a 75% win rate. Keep playing it a little bit more. Oh, mono red Chandra. Everything's gonna get torched, so this won't be too fun. We'll see what happens. So turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Signet, and Drinker. Oh, I have the kill spell for Planeswalkers actually, so no big. Double red. Get a 1/2. I don't know, we should probably play a little bit more conservatively, but trample whenever you cast an instant, it gets bigger. Okay, so obviously they're going to torch Ayara, and that's going to get bigger. Red player is obvious. Moving to combat with full mana open. Oh no, what will happen? Didn't expect me to not do anything. Okay, so still have... There we go, obvious red player. Killing Fiend. I missed the land drop. Alright, so they missed a land drop last turn. Did they miss another one this turn? Seems like they did. Alright, discard a card, draw 2 cards. That is now a 4-2. I can block with a... I'm sure they would have gotten a land drop at that turn. I think they did. They must have gotten a land at that point. Is there anything worse than a slow red player? Yeah, you just play your red lands and it goes room. What else? That's probably a combat trick. Nope, no combat trick, but then that's dead. Fine. Alright, well, let's play this Perished. Let's incubate as a sorcery. They're down to 10 life already. I've got 32 life. Gutter snipe. Uh-oh. Pausing for priority. Missed a land drop. Okay, that's fine. Block the Perish, and I'll say nope. Down to 6 life. Add 2 mana, exile top cards, Chandra, whatever, X damage up to 2 targets. Ah, that's what they're gonna do. They're going to destroy Ayara. Probably do the Ayara plus the menace creature. Nope, and so they're gonna chamber. The beginning of your upkeep, blah blah blah. Okay, fine. What do we want to do here? They have to double block that, but maybe we can pull a cool card if we dart. Nope. Okay, well, let's attack with all of that. You have to double block if you want to deal with that 2/2. And Ayara will say, nope, I will... Oops, I can't with Ayara. That's an artifact creature. Okay. Down to 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, return an instant card from your graveyard to your hand randomly, and they can get a fast... they can do a triumph to target creature. They're gonna get that triumph. I bet you random. Yeah, right. They're gonna get that triumph. Watch. Nope, okay, fine. They got the Jams huge creature. Okay, there's Chandra. They're gonna do the -5 and kill both my creatures. Watch.
Well, someone had
Well,
to
maybe
save
they
the
won't
day.
because they'll kill Chandra. No, they're just gonna do a minus X. They're gonna do the -X on both. Okay, fine.
A crisp should be enough.
I know you're gonna attack with that, so we'll just preemptively... Oh, no attacks. Okay, fine.
No, no, no! This isn't happening!
That's enough for recasting Ayara. More damage, down to 3 life. They randomly got back the Volt Charge. They're gonna deal damage to Ayara. Amazing. So we're extremely close to winning, but I don't think we're gonna win because we need to get Ayara out to do the damage. See that? So then everything gets big. That becomes an 8-2, and that gets stuff happening. So GG opponent. Since my deck really relies on Ayara being out, just killing her every time just gets me further and further from victory, so no need to waste time there. Okay, here's a colorless opponent. Let's see what they do with colorless. This will be interesting. Colorless decks are very difficult to do well, although they do go first. Look at my little cat just strolling in. Two mana rock. Bottom it. Oh, nope, they missed the land drop. Perfectly fine. Their deck might be a little slow, which is perfectly fine. 3 mana rock. Little whatever, which becomes a living weapon. Okay, it's a 1/1. Who cares? Plus a ghoul. Plus attacks. They will block. Okay. I guess what they could do is eventually... Okay, there's the hearth. They've got a blocker. Nothing to do on that. That costs double X. Can you equip that, I guess? Can you equip that? Nope, costs 2. Let's just keep pinging. Just put a lot of pressure. I keep forgetting that Ayara's ability is a 0 cost. A 0 cost. And now they get Karn. Okay, not so bad. I need to deal with Karn. Just put a lot of effort there. Uh-oh. You should probably read my cards before you block willy-nilly. And then they're like, whoops, yes, I should have read your cards. That's true, you should have read my card. Knight of the Legion is a very powerful 1-drop, so yes, read your cards next time. Opponent, Meow 1-0. The deck's kind of doing okay so far, without a lot of really big editing. Let me check my stats right now. It's not in a row. Well, it is some amount of wins. I think 4 sounds right. Let me check my stats over here. Web browser. So the deck at this point, it's 4-2. Yep. So 67% win rate on that deck so far. It's crashing at this point. But okay, yeah, so it tells us there at least. I've played 140 versus 149 matches of Magic, and I lose the most against 4 colors. Interesting. Alright, so we got Dina. So Dina doesn't ever really do anything interesting. It's the thought of Dina doing stuff, but I never really ever see it go off. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses life. 1, sacrifice another creature, Dina gets plus X, whatever. Okay, so we'll start to set ourselves up here. We go first. I was noting this at the beginning. I don't think anyone was in the stream yet. That's kind of a risque sleeve right there, because you have these squids as very interesting clothing on this merfolk. So that's kind of surprising that they have that as official Magic art. With it being so chaste. But that's something that I noticed. Alright, so we got black and green. Druid. Sure. Set ourselves up with Ayara. Do the mill dance. Mill that mine stone. Overgrown arch, it's a 0-4. Dina is out. Fine. Sorry, not sorry. Swarm them. Mill them. Ashnod got milled, and that Opportunist got milled, which is pretty good. They draw cards. Missed a land drop. Well, they have enough with their druid to recast Dina. Nope. Plenty of lands. Exquisite. Uh-oh, when life gains, that's a combo piece right there that is like an instant kill in some decks. So, just have to put the pressure on them. Tap it, you gain 1 life. Okay. They're gonna block something. They're gonna block something and then tap their arch. They don't realize that they can tap their arch. So block and tap your arch. You're not thinking of anything. You know how your deck works. You block and then you tap, and you gain life, and then the thing happens. As for me, draw a card. The opponent is trying to Yorgo me like I don't know what I'm doing. Onto's Monument, pretty good. Dina comes out. Deal some damage. Don't tap that. Don't tap that. Not until I attack, because then you have 1 less blocker. Okay, fine. Do what you want. Is that an infinite combo? Yeah, that's an infinite combo right there. Okay. Fine. And there's no way to quit this? Yeah, I can't quit it. Wow. Alright, well... It is technically known as a bullshit ass fucking bitch ass combo. That's what it's known as. Anyway, moving on to the next game. Now, I'm surprised that it doesn't let you concede because it's an obvious instant kill. And it's funny because it has to play itself out even though it's an infinite kill combo. And so it's it does the thing. So yeah, if people want to take notes on that, that's an infinite kill combo right there. All right, so what do we have? We've got we think they would does that say that little heart gets in the way? That's so funny. Why did YouTube add that little heart and I can't even read people's messages? You think they would thought in between activations? In between though? I can't... What is that heart? Why is it? You think they would though in between activations? Yeah, exactly, because either they should give the ability to... Oh man. Either they should let you concede to that, or... I lost my train of thought. So what was the combo? You want to see if it works on Puzzle Quest. I hardly remember my opponents, except when they get me mad. So I'll look it up in a moment. But just one moment. Let me just set myself up here. Hey, Tomek. I haven't seen Tomek in a while. It was Dina? Soul Drinker? Soul Steeper? Ugh, whatever it's called. Fine, I will love killing your Adeline. That is an amazing card. And it works even if it doesn't attack. Okay, good, you didn't attack, so let's get rid of it right now. It's way too good to let it live. Actually, yeah, you can block that. Now is the time to read all the cards. Kudro. Other humans get +1 whenever Kudro or another human enters. Exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Who cares? Sacrifice 2 humans. Destroy a big creature. Who cares? Fine. So they got Kudro out. Did they miss a land drop? I'm going to exile one of my cards. Who cares? Ah, man, they're getting my cultist. Fine. Tomek is a flyer. What does Tomek do again? Lands on the battlefield and lands in your graveyard. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Anyway, got some removal right here. Surveil into a land. Nah. Just attack with everything again. Put the pressure. Not an optimized play. Yeah, it's exiled. You can't bring it back from the graveyard, so do that. Block Ayara, sure. Missed another land drop. Oops, they're looking at Ayara, so there's a removal there. That's fine. I can bring Ayara back. If I get one more land drop, no problem. Back in a second, I have to get Arwen something to eat. Bring me something too, I'm hungry. Pizza. Nothing here at the moment. Yeah, we'll wait. So they've been missing land drops. And there's a Heliod, which is worthless at the moment. All of that deals an extra bit of damage. Sacrifice, well, I can do that at any point actually, so let's do it on their turn. Plus a Swarmer, sure. Now that's a flyer. Yeah, this deck's kind of coming along kind of okay. They've been missing land drops. this whole time. Sanctify that. Okay, who cares? Gain some life off of that, sure. Oops, there we go. Gain life and does that. Okay, fine. Maybe I should have destroyed my artifact. Yeah, that would have been slightly better to do. But that's okay, I've got a Death Touch Flyer. Let's get that Drain Pipe. Then make them discard. Elder Spell, sure. And then that critter. Okay, well... probably block with their 1/1. No blocks, okay. Bring out this flyer, which I can then sacrifice after a block. There we go, you got your fourth land drop. And then keep it at the top, probably another land drop. Give lifelink to something. That's got Death Touch as well. No attacks. Okay, fine. Let's pass. Okay, well, alright, do they finally have their fifth? Yeah, there we go. You have your fifth mana. Gain life off of that. Fine. If you attack in the air, I can deal with that, but no attacks. Okay. Fine, nothing to sacrifice. Alright, let's do one of these. Gain some life. Surprised they're not blocking with that 1/1. I guess they wouldn't, because it gives them that life. They don't have enough to awaken. Well, they will awaken. What's it called in a moment? Okay, so that's gonna bring life. That's gonna awaken Heliod, right? Yeah. So gain some life. Put it on Heliod. Fine. Exile a thing from my graveyard. Who cares? I have 30 life and they have 12. That's funny. Gain some life. Put it somewhere. Indestructible Heliod. Fine. Attacking with an indestructible Heliod. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Okay, well... Alright, they're down to 10 life, but they have a lifelink creature, so that'll be annoying. Looking at the graveyard. Hero of the Dunes. When this enters, return an artifact creature, small something something. Everything gets big, I guess. Exile stuff. There's a whole novel going on. Adelaide, that's a horrible thing. Gain some more life off of that. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna win this. I don't have any mass removal, so we're done. And then one more Cursebound Witch, which is an alchemy card. Yep, so this is too much for me to deal with. So definitely on that sort of deck, too much stuff on the battlefield to deal with. That's when definitely the board wipe would have helped, but I don't have any board wipes in the deck. So let's add one onto the usual. Actually, wait a minute, why don't we have Bantu's Monument? That's a good one too. So what do we clean out? We don't really have a lot of zombie synergies. How many zombies do I have in this deck? Blah, blah, blah. 7 zombies. Okay, so Perish should work. Welcome back. I've added... I needed a board wipe. The opponent just had too much junk on the battlefield, so I added a board wipe. And that... added a board wipe, and then I also added Bantu's Monument, which I forgot about that one. Decreases black spells plus damages them, so added that one. I haven't gotten any of the Evolved Sleepers or Ecstatic Awakener. You check Puzzle Quest and there's a 3-turn limiter on that combo. The one that killed me? Alright, so I made a quick little change, added that board wipe. I really needed that board wipe on the last game. And then I added Bantu's Monument. This deck's got a 50-50 win rate, 4-4 at the moment. Thief Guild has Flash. Let's psych them out with a Flash creature. Feather. I shouldn't even play this deck. If I don't... I didn't see who this was. This is going to be a waste of time. I'm going to play it, but it's going to be a waste of time to play against Feather. We've lost already. That's an overpowered deck. That's an overpowered... opponent. Because they're going to have burn spells, and then they're going to get them back for free. 2 red. And then whatever. Yep, so we got Feather on board, so... that's not removal, so we're dead. Alright, so they're gonna torch Ayara, get that spell back for free, and then just keep playing it over and over. They're gonna prowess that creature. Yep, so see, this is how they just go over the top here. If I don't get removal, see, they're gonna be doing 9 damage at a time, so this is quite an overpowered deck. If I don't get removal next turn, I'm just not gonna continue because it's... yeah, GG opponent. It's way too overpowered. 9 damage at a time. Flying, so it's a waste of time to keep going. If you don't kill Feather on the spot, it's just snowballs. And while the next opponent comes up, let's do... How do I do this again? Oh yeah, I can do a little shout out here. Shout out to... Well, let's just do it one more time. A shout out one more time here to Mark on that amazing super chat. Totally appreciated. And that's really cool of you to do that. So I'll just shout you out one more time. Oh, we got Reese. That's fun. But how about a 1-1 Death Touch? Turn to plank, I guess. Alright, so third mana. Just give me my third mana and we'll be okay. Join the dance, make some creatures, gain some life, whatever. Not a third mana. Amazing. Fine. We'll do it the hard way. Keep a Death Touch blocker. They're gonna recast Reese. Alright, search a land. Attack with your 1/1s. No blocks. No land. Okay. That's fine. So we got Ayara out. I got a bunch of 1 mana creatures to play. I got a Planeswalker to deal with. I've had the Elder spell pop up so many times that never
I love making new friends.
never when you need it. It's the battle of the life gain decks. That Vivian is gonna get out of control.
Diversity is our greatest strength.
Where's my Elder spell? So they have a wall of junk and a planeswalker, and now they're gonna make a bunch of tokens, and that copies the big tokens, so yeah, we need this board wipe over here. We're too far behind.
I call, and Ikoria answers.
Single green mana open for something. Unless they have some sort of convoke spell. I don't know why I would be pausing for them. Yeah, we're just gonna limp along until eventually I get the Elder Spell or a board wipe, I guess. I guess Ashnod can instantly
We will adapt to any
create
threat.
a blocker. But it's only a 3/3, and now that's gonna make a bunch of those. So yeah, this is a waste of time. Alright, so I've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. Maybe we'll play a little bit more, then I'll wrap it up as well. So I guess this deck does some fun things here and there. My little cat's over there hanging out. We'll flash in that thief. There goes that swords to plowshares. Whoops. Death Touch. Wintermore's toughness is equal to the number of knights you control. Whenever this attacks another knight you control, gets indestructible. Sure. Rem Carolus, Stalwart Slayer, 3 mana, 2/3, flying in haste, and then they're done. They didn't get a land drop. Okay. Well, going out on a victory seems pretty good, so yeah, we can end at that point. Yeah, let's wrap it up at this point. Been streaming for 2.5 hours. Made a new deck. It's all right. It also depends on the matchup and the like. And it's sort of a weenie deck, and it can do stuff, but sometimes it depends on the matchup. But okay, so thanks everyone for coming to hang out. check out the YouTube for stuff, and yeah, be on the lookout for new stuff coming up. Take care, everyone. It did all right. Yeah, it was fun. It did stuff. But yep, thanks for coming to hang out. We'll be back next time. You're welcome. Have a great day. Say hi to the family.